What's up, agents? Welcome back to another Division video where we're going to talk about everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks, why I've been away on my holidays. I have managed to keep up with the Division, but I've not really been able to create any content. If you follow me on my socials, you'll see that during my vacation, I actually went to New York and got some photos with the Brooklyn Bridge in the background, around some other landmarks that are in the Division 2. I might do another video just on that because I went to some very cool places that took me back in the, especially for Division 1. It was really cool, but that's not what this video is about. It's going to be about the Halloween event. It's going to be about everything that's happened, the bans that happened. That was crazy. I luckily enough wasn't affected, but we'll talk about that as well, and all the bits of news, and kind of wrap it all up into one. The only thing I won't talk about, and this will be in a follow-up video, I caught the live stream. I always want to call it State of the Game, but I caught the live stream and they talked a bit about survivors. I'm probably going to do a separate video on that rather than drag this one out any longer, because it's already going to, feels like it's going to be a long enough video as it is. But let's start with Halloween and the Houndsman. So the Houndsman came. This is now gone. It's now in the store if you want to buy it. We covered this earlier on. They added a new skin, which I thought was a little bit weird because kind of felt like a little bit of a money grab. This should have just been in here for, you know, buy the bundle. Should have reflected exactly what you could have got free last week. I know some people have had some issues with it transitioning to a paid bundle. I kind of don't mind that, if I'm going to be honest. We had a chance to get it for free. Yes, okay, does kind of rubbish if you didn't manage to be able to play that week. I was on holiday. I did find it difficult to kind of log in and do things like that. But luckily enough, I've got a laptop that supports the game. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mind them doing things like that. If it gives us more chance to get things for free, I am kind of all for it. And then this week, things have been a little bit different. We got the second apparel costume, which I'll pull up now. That was this bad boy right here, the Sinister Shade. And if you'd watched my content previously, I showed you guys that this guy was coming to the game from the Chinese version of the game. We didn't get the haircut or the contact lenses, and there was another backpack trophy that we didn't get. We just got the vampire juice one, but I think it's pretty great nonetheless, and it goes really well with my backpack, just saying. But yeah, I think it's pretty good, and especially that, you know, it's part of the project chain. You've got a whole week left to do that as well still. But we did get this bad boy. That's not the one we want to talk about. Where's my good one? There we go. So we did get the quick step, which is probably going to be in everybody's loadouts now. It is the new meta, and not because it's good at firing and killing things, because it gives us 20% movement speed all of the time. Yeah, and it's pretty nutty, and it has a really good skin called the Cyber Pink, which I'm a massive fan of. I don't know where I got this from or when I got it. If you know where it came from, let me know in the comments down below. But I just think, yeah, it gives me a chance to use that as well. And yeah, you can still get that now. It's at the end of the project chain as well, which I thought was a little bit weird. I think the Houndsman is still dropping it as well. But yeah, I thought it was a little bit odd. But as long as you have it in your, you know, you will run faster. Let's talk about the Halloween decorations. Let's face it, they're absolutely cooked. The place looks absolutely brilliant. I'm not just saying that because I'm fanboying. I think it's just, this is what the Chinese version of the game has had for special events, and it's definitely what we have needed. It just looks so great. And let me guess, this man here right now, come on, is he going to prove my point? Is he running around with a quick step? Yes, he is. Because nobody cares about the stats for the thing. Everybody just wants sport mode. My advice would be, because we're never going to fire from it, you might want one with damage target out of cover, but just use swap speed. You might as well. You're not really going to be firing with it. Yeah, it just makes sense. But let me know what you think about the Halloween event as a whole, the free costumes and everything like that. Let's hope we get something juicy for Christmas. I just don't think we will. I think it might be too soon. But if this is going to be the step in the direction that we're going to get for themed events, it's definitely the right one. It's just so good. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Here's me with the Brooklyn in the background in Dumbo. Let's move on. Just realized this person looking at this photo bombing me here? Let's move on. Okay, so this was the post that they put out. I was on my holidays. I was actually in a theme park, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a W post, as you can see, as I put underneath. Unaware was I of what actually was going on. But it says here, as part of our ongoing efforts to keep the game fair and clean for everyone, we'll apply sanctions to a wave of accounts using unauthorized software. While we regularly take action against cheaters, this is part of a broader initiative to be stricter with unfair behavior. And you just think wall hacks, aimbots, third-party software, and things like that. But then very, very quickly, I saw on socials, DMs, and and things like that, fellow agents who I've known for such a long time, people unfairly were being banned. Now, obviously, people were probably fairly banned, but they're not necessarily the ones that you hear about unless they're trying to get themselves unbanned. But you can see here, during this process, we identified technical issues that have affected some accounts unintentionally. And that was kind of, kind of rubbish. And they did like a rollback process. If we look at this one here, over the coming hours, I think it took 24 hours if I believe right. I had friends that were still banned, reached out to me in DMs, and it was probably at least 20 hours later. So you can see here Streamer House reaching out saying that people are still banned. It took a long time, and I don't know if they just kind of pressed the undo button or if people actually still got banned, because everyone that was unfairly banned that I know of got unbanned. So that part of the process worked. But does anybody know if people actually still got banned? I mean, we don't know too much, but yeah, that was a little bit weird. And yeah, that was kind of it. Agent activated. There's me on my jollies again. But yeah, let's move on to the next set of news. I'm going to post a video on my channel probably before or after this, one or the other. It's got to be one, right? I've got a Xbox ROG Ally. Now, the video is an Xbox ROG unboxing video, but I do run Division on it if you want to check it out. I had the original one for such a long time before I sold it so that I could upgrade to this one. And I used to love couch gaming on it. Yes, all right, it's not a 4090 or a 5090, but as far as handheld gaming goes, you get around 50 to 60 FPS on this one, which is an upgrade of about anything from the original one, which ran at 30. I believe the middle one that came out a couple of years ago gets about 45. This now gets close to 60, but it has all that kind of fancy frame generation stuff. Obviously, it's on a small screen. It works very well. It looks very slick. Let's move on to the next news story. So this was really big news. Now, every time you've been in a Division live stream, let's face it, one of the words that you could get drunk off if you had a shot every time you saw it in the chat was, what about PvP? And rightly so. They've absolutely just not had the resources or put the time and effort into PvP in the Division 2 for probably about 6 years. Like, I remember them putting efforts into it in year 1, maybe year 2, but after that, I really don't remember any efforts. And there's been little things along the way with talents and things like that getting adjusted to try and stop PvP being an absolute disaster, although it is not a great place to play PvP, let's face it. But it's never had the care and attention that it needed like PvE gets. And BASE posted this, I think, ahead of time, but before it actually went out on the Division socials. But as you can see here, agents, I'm super happy to share some news. I mentioned in the past, we're always working on all aspects of our game and listening to the feedback of our entire community. Well then, the time for PvP is now. And they're basically looking for a lead PvP game designer. He'll obviously get some people to work with them within that team, I guess. And they're absolutely huge. You know, PvP in Division 2 is in 2027 maybe is going to be a thing again. I don't know. I think it needs a really big overhaul. I would love to be able to get back into Division 2 PvP. I've not played it since year 1. I loved Division 1 PvP. I've just never been able to stick with Division 2 PvP. I've dropped in every now and again. I do like to dabble with it still. I feel like it's when you play with, you know, people who play with appropriate builds, no cheesy skill builds, no one, you know, turreting here, there and everywhere. It can be good. It's just a rarity. So yeah, huge news for PvP. And yeah, I can't actually wait. That's actually really, really good news. Now, there was some bad news and some good news that came out as well. So let's talk about that next. And this was it. The Massive Entertainment Studio put out this really weirdly written note, or I don't know what you want to call it. I don't really want to call it anything. But they put here, as part of our ongoing evolution and long-term planning, we have recently realigned our teams and resources to strengthen our roadmap, ensuring a continued focus on the Division franchise and the technologies including Snowdrop and Ubisoft Connect that power our games. And all of a sudden you think, yes, the Division is finally getting the love that it finally deserves after all these years. Maybe we're going to get a huge Division 3. They're going to go all in, and you're thinking really good things. And then it moves on and it goes, to support this transition responsibly, we introduced a voluntary career transition program, giving eligible team members the opportunity to take their next career step on their own terms, supported by a comprehensive package that includes financial and career assistance. And that's just what you don't want to hear, because that basically means that people are going to lose jobs. Nobody likes that. And the only thing that I can possibly guess is that we know that Star Wars has wrapped up. It's now on Switch as well, and it's not getting any more DLCs or anything like that. And we know that Avatar's got a DLC coming, but you can assume probably after that that's wrapped up. And there's not always enough room to move people back and forth. And it creates this bubble of people that have not got a game to work on. And that's sad. You don't really want to hear that. These people have been working with some of these people for years and years and years. And, you know, it's never good being in a place where redundancies happen. I've been there myself. It's horrible to see team members go. And nobody likes having, you know, not a secure job, right? People have got houses to pay for. People have got bills to pay for. So it's a weird way of putting it. I would have much rather than be much more upfront and, you know, kind of said what it is what it is. But I believe that the law in the country, I saw Ryberg post a post saying that it's like a way that it's fine, you know, legally that they have to do this, you know. So yeah, it was an odd choice of words. It says here, though, Massive Entertainment remains fully committed to our roadmap and creating great experiences for players around the world, including the Division 2. The Division 2 Survivors getting its own mention. Division Resurgence, which I would expect because it's a different game. And the Division 3, again, I would expect because we know it's in development and it's a different game. So basically they're going all in on the Division, which is great news for the Division. But yeah, kind of bad news for a lot of other people, it sounds like, that are not going to be part of that vision. So yeah, I didn't like this. I was a bit confused when it first came out. I was kind of like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Because the wording really did throw me off. And then chat with a few other, you know, people who, you know, content creators and things like that. And they went, no, this is pretty bad. This is not all good news. It's kind of 50-50, right? Great for Division, but yeah, sad for people in real life. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Okay, one of our more crazier stories, because I am actually in the ETF. I caught the live stream where they were talking about Survivors. Now, I am going to do a separate video on this. We're going to look into it as much detail as we possibly can, because there's things that we're not grasping as a community, that they're putting little secrets in there, And I kind of want to do a video studying this section and the other stuff that they put up on the socials a little bit more, see if we can figure anything out as a community. But this is what they talked about. So let's just play this little clip here of Leo.
Yeah, so the ETF is
and
very
what he
important
says
to our plans for not only Survivors, but the whole Division 2 and the future of the franchise. We're super excited to get more people in, and after reading 3,000, more than 3,000 applications, I got to know a lot of powerful stories, a lot of cool players that are part of our community. I felt that it was a very good experience to get to know more about the players who care so much about this game, and we're going to finally send the invitation to the people selected this week and next week. So
congratulations if you got selected.
Your email, we're gonna contact people through email. I can guarantee that the way that we select people was not based on performance, so it's not the top shade levels players. We're trying to get a very diverse sample of who is our community, people from different regions, from different experience, different profiles, the way that they engage with the game. So yeah, I'm super excited to this new phase of the ETF. And if you
this is a longer clip than I intended.
To be one of the selected. I'm sure that there are going to be more opportunities in the future as well. But for those who are going to join us, we have a lot of things exciting ahead of us. And one of them is actually that we are aiming to have some of the ETF members playing Survivors next year. So that's going to be huge. We're super excited to have real players playing Survivors, helping Magnus on the development of this experience. And yeah, I'm super excited for it.
That's really cool. And if you're, didn't apply for DTF or
is really cool. So let's stop this bit here, because that is really cool. Now, I don't know if I'll be one of them that's lucky enough to be selected to actually take part in that. Obviously, I played a lot of Division 1 PvP. I played a very little amount of Division 2 PvP because basically it in its current form, it just turns me off. I would love to have an impact on it. But who knows if I will or not. But this was very surprising that they want such a big input, it feels like, from the ETF. And obviously there'll be a lot of, they got 3,000 applications. How many extra people they put in the ETF program, I don't know. It is a pretty big program already. It's run multiple times over the years. Yes, okay, a lot of people don't take part in it anymore because they just don't play the game anymore. But it is a pretty big program already. So yeah, they'd still be interesting to see how this works out. And, if Division 2 Survivors doesn't work out, ETF will be to blame. And I'm only joking. But yeah, that's kind of how it feels, right? That's kind of it. Like, you shouldn't have listened to them. They don't know how to play and stuff and things like that. But I can already see the comments in the chat if something shows up that people don't like. But yeah, pretty crazy. Nonetheless, that is something that they are looking into. And then very quickly, if we jump back into the game, we'll have a look at the event timeline, because at the moment we've got the Conflict XP event. I've not been playing it. I probably should have. I do like to do a bit of Conflict when the XP event is on. We've still got the Halloween event on with the very cool looking photo here. That's got another week left if you want to play catch up, if you've not done any of that. Red Line Overdrive has been and gone. That was a really good event. But we have got Expertise Surge coming in a couple of days. What is it now? The 3rd today, depending on where you are in the world. On the 7th of November. This one is a really good event if you're not aware of what it's going to be. And I'm just going to highlight this post over on Reddit from Dognuts, who is awesome. He's put this PSA up 6 days ago. Save your Halloween 25 projects for Expertise Surge. So saving the Halloween 25 projects until Expertise Surge event is live is a great opportunity for those who are in desperate need of exotic components. We all like exotic components, but why? So it says, based on the current event timeline, the Halloween 25 projects will remain available throughout the remaining 2 weeks, which we've just talked about, with the last week acting as a catch-up week, with extra time to finish the project. Meanwhile, the Expertise Surge event is scheduled for the 7th to the 10th of November, and it doubles all upgrade materials from all sources, including exotic components. So instead of getting 1, you'll get 2. Brilliant. So each of the 6 Halloween 25 daily projects grant 3 exotics, which mean you're going to get 6. If you save these projects up, well, save it until the event is live, you'll get 36 exotic components from the project chain per character. And you can do this on all 4 of your characters, which gives you 144 exotic components total per account. You can get even more if you decide to cheese it. Oh, what do you mean cheese it? So for those that are curious, here are the objectives for the Halloween project chain. So spoilers from this moment on. We've got neutralize 4 named hyenas, neutralize 4 named true sons, neutralize 4 named outcasts, neutralize 4 named hyenas, true sons, outcasts, black tusks. Very similar to what we're already doing right now. And here are the rewards for the Halloween project chain, which we already know. So speaking of expertise surge event, it's going to double the quantity of all upgrade materials needed for expertise. According to the existing information, these materials are as follows. So there's everything that you can get. So it does include field recon. It does include SHD collaboration, which as well is awesome. So yeah, a lot of opportunity here to get a lot of extra stuff with that event that is coming. I don't know if that information, obviously that information, you know, has come from sources that are not necessarily official, so take it with a pinch of salt. You never know, they might do an update on Tuesday that might destroy all of this, but as of right now, Dognut's information is always absolutely spot on. He's absolutely on point all of the time. And then we've got Golden Bullet, probably the most favorite of all global events, starting in 8 hours and 9 minutes. So I hope you've been saving up all of your ways to generate massive amounts of XP. So yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity coming this week for a lot of materials, especially with Golden Bullet as well. To round the video off, we'll take a very quick look on the Trello board. They fixed the issue with the raid, with people not being able to kill Williams. That's been sorted now, so that is good. They're still investigating a bridge talent causing unintended interactions. I thought that was fixed though. Maybe it's just not been moved. Let me know if there's still weird things going on with that down below in the comments. But yeah, the mini warhounds don't drop anything if they're killed with skills, which that's unfortunate, as that event will probably be disappearing before that actually gets fixed. The gear die resets, this one's a big one for me. I like this one to be fixed, but it's probably low down on the chain to be fixed. But summit directives, that would be nice if that got fixed soon. But yeah, the Trello is pretty empty, although we do know there are more bugs that are not on here at the moment. For instance, the green weapon boxes that had the nice Halloween items in as an extra reward, all them weapon cases are now empty. So we know that's going on at the moment, and that's not on here either. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. I will be back much more regularly now I am back off my holidays. So this has been a pretty long video, but as always, thank you for supporting the channel. We're grinding to 40k before the end of the year. We're nearly just over 2,000 away now. I think 2,050. So hopefully we can do that before 2026. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Thanks for everything. Bye bye.